Good morning, Juice World, or good afternoon here in Iowa. Another rainy day. We didn't need any more rain, but that's what we've got. So you got to work with what you got, what you're given. And yesterday was the first day back to eating, and I shared that I had a spinach salad, which was so delicious. And then for dinner, I had really nice ramen noodles that I made up with vegetables, and it was really, really tasty. And then afterwards, I think I went out and I came back and I really had the desire. I went to meditate and I came back. I had the desire for, I had had these homemade cookies from the Golden Dome Market, which were really natural. They had chocolate chips in them and they were, but very healthy kind of stuff, healthy cookies, if there's such a thing. And I didn't have any money. I had to mow the yard. That's right. I just had enough money for like a gallon of gas for the lawnmower. My car needed gas. Didn't have any money for that. I was, he had that red light on the car. Don't forget to gas up tomorrow morning, which I did actually, but I was okay. So, after mowing the grass, coming in, I made some almond butter cookies because I knew I had the right ingredients for that. I had made some almond croissants on my French diet, and they were like unbelievable, melt in your mouth, just heavenly items, you know. And I knew I could make some really scrumptious almond cookies, and I wanted those homemade cookies. And I had, been fasting. It's like I just wanted one, right? So I made some, and they turned out okay, and they were very tasty. But I had about 5, I think. It was a quart low, and then I was done. Okay, so I did that, and I stored them away for future reference. And then this morning I got up, and I had cooked some garbanzo beans last night, and I made some fresh juice. What did I make? I made I think a fruit juice, and I had juice because I had the desire for juice, which is so interesting that I had the desire for juice. I didn't have the desire for food. I love to juice. And I love juice. And then I had some garbanzo beans for a little weight, and very satisfying. And I just want to also report that yesterday I took the motivation to post my success for my 12-day juice fast on a fat, sick, and nearly dead inspired Facebook group that I belong to. And I've read the post, but I've never actually shared anything. And when I posted that I had just done 12 days, I got so many girls and so many nice comments and questions, and it was just such a relief to be with a group of people who understood what I was doing instead of these skeptical people who keep questioning me and saying how worried they are about me. It's astonishing to me what a total disconnect between reality there is. We are a totally brainwashed culture. That's all I can say, and not in a good way. Not in a good way. So oh, that's right. I went to a drum circle last night too. That's right. After mowing the yard, I went over to a drum circle and I danced a little bit. It was kind of nice, a little different. And but it was just so nice to get that positive feedback. And then I went to the rec center today and I saw a friend, and she kind of looked at me querulously about my juicing, and I talked to her, and then I talked to another friend of mine, and she told me how worried she was about me. But as I was leaving the rec center, I wanted to take the call outside. There was a woman with her 2 children, very tall, very thin. She's probably about 30 years old. She had a very close body type to mine, and she had that smooth skin, long, gazelle-like look to her. And I just thought, a trip down memory lane, that if I had never gained the weight, if I had kept to my body size, my true body size, that could have been me. I could have been a contender instead of a bum, which is what I am. My saggy skin. But anyway, it's all very informative, kind of tracing the steps back to my ruination of gaining weight. It's all very informative. And then today, Gary called me. I was at the rec center. I wanted to exercise, but he called me. He wanted to have lunch, and I had to get back on a phone call, another phone call that didn't end up happening because I had to fill out a form to get on it, which I will do later today. And that was a Darshan call with this fellow David Spiro, who's online, and he does Darshan a couple times a week. I want to get on that. But you have to fill out a biography, and that took me a little too much time. So Gary called me. He wanted to go to lunch at Thai Deli, which is a really nice vegetarian, no, it's not really vegetarian, but they have a lot of vegetarian food, cafeteria in town, in our beautiful little town of Fairfield, Iowa here. And I got some vegetables. They had tofu and sweet potato. And I looked at that tofu, and I really wanted some tofu. In fact, I should probably buy some tofu. And then there was some broccoli and carrots, and I asked for, a little bit of both. And I got a Diet Coke because I wanted a little pep. So I took it back to the table, and I was eating it, and I realized how different my taste buds are now, and my relationship to food, how satisfying that was. And there wasn't a lot of tofu on the dish, which I was a little disappointed in. But just to eat that, and then they had beautiful pies there, homemade pies, and, I went up, I told him I'd go up and look at the pies with him. I thought maybe I'd have a pie, but I really didn't want any, and I looked at the pies, and I really didn't want any. I just had a cup of tea with him, and we talked and chatted, and, Gary gets the weight loss thing, which is good, He's a little concerned, I think, with so much fasting, but, he gets it, which is good, right? And I didn't want the pie, and I was satisfied just with those vegetables. I came home, I didn't have any almond cookies. I'm just not hungry, and I have been drinking water. I had a little coffee. I had to do another phone call, and I wanted a little more pep, just black coffee. And I'm feeling good. I've changed my relationship to food. I'm going to keep reporting in. Food is a big issue for me and a lot of people. I mean, it's kind of the American pastime. There are either people who are eating themselves into ill health, people who are in ill health from their weight, people who are trying to get the weight off, people who have gotten the weight off, people who are into exercise to help get the weight off. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And I'm just happy to be, on this YouTube and reporting in. And I'll be back tomorrow.